I'm Angelena for Heart of the Matter here in magical Hawaii, and today is International Women's Day. Yesterday I had a very special day. We took a car trip around the island, and I ended up at the most amazing Buddhist temple called Byodo Inn, and I met this amazing woman, Robyn Busfield, who happens to be an acclaimed author of two inspirational and magical books called It's Time to Get Selfish and Forgiveness is the Home of Miracles. And I said to Robyn, I don't know what you're doing tomorrow, but I really want to interview you for my show. And here she is. Welcome, Robyn.
Thank you. So lovely to be here.
Oh,
thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you are so welcome. I just think it was amazing how we crossed paths outside the temple.
Yeah.
I went up to the Buddha statue to say a prayer and just offer world peace. And just, send out love for the world, I guess. And then I saw your table with all your books, and you were also selling crystal hearts. So naturally we got talking. And so I had a look at your website last night. You have a beautiful quote on the homepage that says, forget about time for a while. Forget about everything you were ever told. Open your mind, open your heart, and allow yourself to begin to remember. And I love that. Beautiful. So obviously they're words from your heart.
Yes.
This is your own wisdom.
Yeah.
What exactly do you mean when you say that?
So when we forget about time, then we're moving into that present moment, the timeless moment, moving into that space within ourselves where we can just allow everything to be in free flow, without ourselves to be aligned with free flow. And just really allowing ourselves to kind of forget about what we've been told, what we've been taught, forget about time,
yes.
And then just allow ourselves to, when we're in alignment with ourselves, what we remember is the truth, who we truly are.
It's like our inner voice speaking, really.
Yeah, it's a divine self, divine guidance that runs itself. So that's what I feel when we're remembering who we truly are, that divine spirit self.
That is beautiful. And do people find that through meditation? Do you think that's where that comes in? How does one really connect to that inner voice?
I feel like that for me, over the years, I've been guided at times to meditation, and then I've been guided away from meditation. It's just, it seems like in that moment, and this is why I feel like it's so important to come back to that present moment and forget about everything, forget about what we've been taught. Because if you say, wow, I've learned meditation, so now I should practice it every day, then we come to find that we can get stuck. Should we practice it every day? How do we know? And when we move back into that present moment, maybe today or maybe this moment feels like a nice moment to sit down and meditate, where I've been drawn to, and maybe tomorrow I might not feel drawn to it. So today I trust in where, if I'm being guided to it or not.
And is that how you found Hawaii? What drew you to want to be in this beautiful place? Because we happen to have grown up in pretty much the same neighbourhood back in Sydney, Australia.
Yeah.
You've been in America for 20 odd years?
Just gone 20 years.
Oh my
my
God.
20-year anniversary on January 2nd.
Oh wow! Congratulations!
Thank you.
What a beautiful part of the world.
Yeah.
And what drew you to Hawaii in particular?
I've been in Hawaii. I was in California for the first 12 years. I've been in Hawaii for the last 8 years. Initially, when what happened was I was living in Sydney, and it was kind of like a moment where the lights came on for me, and I realized there was a wisdom within. There was a voice speaking through me that I kind of recognized it, but I knew I had ignored it at times throughout my journey, throughout my life. And when I recognized it, all of a sudden, when the lights came on, I realized this wisdom knows everything that's unfolding. It knows what's happening tomorrow, next week, next year, maybe years. That guidance is continually there, present. And so when I recognized that, I realized I want to know everything about that wisdom. I want to know everything about that.
You get excited
about
and you
that
just
inner guidance.
yeah.
I wanted to know everything about it. So within, it was just like weeks, it wasn't very long, that inner voice was started to get stronger and stronger. The more we listen to it, the more in alignment we are with it, and then the better we hear it. And so it's getting stronger. And one day it said to me, pack everything up and move to the States. And I was like, wow, okay, I can do that.
It's pretty much how I ended up in Toronto, Canada
how
too.
you-
Oh yeah, I could hear the Northern Hemisphere calling me.
Oh, wow.
Through my heart. Yeah, it's for sure, it's for real. And
Yes.
that's why people say, weren't you scared? And I was like, no, because I trusted the divine.
Yeah.
I trusted my own inner voice and my feeling, and I thought, no, I have total faith and I'm going to go with this.
Oh, beautiful.
And
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there's moments where you are a little bit, you're out of your comfort zone. But no, I felt the same as you. I knew that that's where I needed to go.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
And it's wonderful when you follow your heart.
Yes. When you follow your heart,
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
no, you can't go wrong. You really can't. And even at times,
Yeah.
if it seems like, you might have stepped, it's like, no, just stay with it. Yeah, just get back into that present moment
Yeah.
with yourself and then on.
Oh, that's so good to hear. I love that. So is that how all the books began? You published It's Time to Get Selfish in 2006.
Yes.
Now, I love that because someone told me years ago, it's okay to be selfish. It's not being selfish, it's being sensible.
Yes.
But you take it one step further. It's not even just about, looking after yourself on this level, but this is really about coming back to your spirit, isn't it? Coming
Yes.
back to your divine self and
Yes.
your true life purpose.
Yes.
Do you want to talk to me about how that all began?
Yeah, well, it's so interesting because when I moved to California, I had been asking to know everything about this inner guidance. One of the first things that was given to me through a friend was a tape by Earl Nightingale. We talk a lot about the law of attraction, I guess, and the creativity of the self. And within a year, a friend of a friend put a tape in my hand. If you listening or watching, you may have heard of Abraham Hicks.
Oh, yes.
Abraham Hicks.
Sure
That
have.
was the tape that was put in my hand 20 years ago, 19 years ago.
Amazing.
And it was your inner guidance, that one. And so when it was put in my hand, I knew, I'm like, this is it. This is it. And from there, I began to learn a lot more about the inner self. That's when I was doing a lot of meditating at that time, being guided to do a lot of meditating. And I think for even a couple of years. And it was like that time in my life was a time where I really was going within. I was guided to go back within quite a lot. And then I came to find that I had all the answers. The answers were flowing through me. And I think a couple of years later, the divine guidance said to me, arise and come out of the daily meditation and go out amongst the people.
Out into the physical
I
again.
was told that, yeah. And then go out and practice everything you've been told, everything you've been learning.
We've been on similar journeys, you and I.
Yeah.
That just manifests differently, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
that's so, it's true how you can go through different cycles and you're learning.
Yes.
You're learning and you're growing in certain ways, and then you need to go put it into practice. I mean, I've been tested in my life too, but you get to put into practice what you do know.
Yes.
And then you grow again,
Yep.
And then I wanted to create the show, like you've written the books.
Yeah.
So you want to go out and help the public and help people. And I think that's beautiful. That's what the show is about.
That's where we connect. So yesterday I could feel.
Oh, straight away. It was just
Yeah.
like, Crystal Heart Productions, Crystal Hearts. And we're like,
Yeah.
which I actually bought one of your beautiful crystals. And do you want to tell the audience what this one is? I love it.
This is a real quartz crystal, the little dash of titanium coating, giving it that colouring on the outside. So I was drawn to work with the crystals, and I have a lot of heart crystals that I work with too, alongside my books. And that was because over the years I recognised that this inner wisdom, I kind of paid attention and noticed my heart chakra opening at one point there, and as I watched it opening, that's when I recognised on a deep level how much this wisdom is flowing from the heart. Is flowing from the heart. So yeah, that's where I wanted to have the crystal hearts along with the books and give that message.
Beautiful. So getting back to the book, okay, so when you say it's time to get selfish, what inspired you to write that? I mean, obviously you've been through your journey, but what inspired you to focus on that particular topic?
Okay, so when I was guided to come out of the meditation and I was told, now get out amongst the people, around that same time, just before that, it was in the meditation, I was told, now it's time to put the pen down, because I had been journaling for about 2 years while I was meditating, so I've been journaling a lot, and I was told, now it's time to put the pen down and you're going to write a book. And I was like, what?
Okay.
No, I'm not going to write.
What am I going to write?
How am I going to write a
How do
book?
I start?
Yeah, and I was told, I will show you, you'll be guided, just trust. And so the whole process was, total guidance. And yeah, I had not considered it. I had not ever thought. So it's interesting, we talk about the law of creativity. This was something that was just divinely dropped into my lap.
The instrument.
Yeah.
And you would have been so open with your meditation, your chakras would have been nice and balanced when you were ready.
Yeah.
To receive the information.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And that's where crystals come into play. I've been buying crystals and reading about them since I was about 15. And they're magical, and I've used them throughout my life, especially in difficult times, and worn them in different parts of my body. So they really do. You can feel it.
Yeah.
It's for real. It's from Mother Earth.
Yes.
It has its own vibrations and its own energy, and we're part of that.
And with the hearts wearing them. And you mentioned this yesterday. This is so funny because this is something I tell the people that come to my table at the temple. Is that when they wear the hearts, the guidance I get is that to wear them so they're kind of landing around the heart chakra, and that the energy of the crystal is helping and playing its part in opening and just assisting with the heart chakra opening. And you said that to me yesterday when you come to the table. I was like,
we're on the same page.
Yeah.
It's so great. So I was going to ask you about the forgiveness book. So forgiveness is the home of miracles. I just love that title. I've had to learn the lesson of forgiveness since 2002, in particular, when I was attacked and almost murdered. And I am at that point where you've had to, because you set yourself free. But do you want to explain to our audience today what the book is about and how you came to this realization too? Because I think this is a difficult lesson for a lot of us. It's easy to stay angry. It's easy to want to blame somebody, or the suffering comes from that too.
yes.
So how do we find forgiveness? Well, what is forgiveness to you? How do you define it?
I feel like that I'm kind of feeling guided to start off and say unforgiveness to me is being stuck. Forgiveness is feeling free.
Right.
And,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's also, it's that simple, isn't it?
It is that simple.
And it's a
Really
choice
is.
too, wouldn't you
Yeah.
say? For me, it was a
Yes.
choice,
Oh
and
my
it's
gosh,
an act of love to yourself to say, I'm
Yes.
actually going to give myself permission to rise above,
Yes.
to let go.
Yes.
It's gone. It happened.
Yes.
And I'm not going to own their actions. I love myself
Right.
enough to let myself free, set myself free.
Yeah. Yes.
You're not saying that their behaviour is okay. It's not about that. It's about you.
Yeah, exactly. Ultimately, if we stay stuck on what's going on out there, then that's part of the stuckness.
Yeah,
The
that's
stickiness,
where
the sticky- yeah. And if we can, when we come back to self, that's where the freedom occurs. So yeah, I totally feel that too.
Love that. So where do you go with the books? You say it's the home of miracles.
The Home of Miracles. That piece was actually taken out of A Course in Miracles.
Love it.
You know Course in Miracles?
Yeah.
Channel began in 1965 and Prophet Joshua, Jesus. And a beautiful book that changed my life. Another one of those times where everything just got flipped. When I was just told, now here's another direction. The selfish book had just come out. It had just been released. I walked into Barnes & Noble and saw it sitting on the table there. I was about to do a book signing. And I went up the elevator to pick up another book that I've been told about, which was Disappearance of the Universe by Gary Renard. I went up the elevator, so that's interesting that I walked in, I saw the book, went up the elevator, so here was another journey starting. And I got his book and I went home and everything got flipped for me because I had been on this journey inside the self, and now the journey became about forgiveness. So when we move into that moment of forgiveness, that's when we can embrace everything around it and bring it all back to self.
Love that.
Yeah.
You've been kind enough to give me a copy, and Robyn's even going to sign it for me, which I'm really feel so blessed. I'm really excited to read it, and I think that what you have to say is so important. How can people find your books? You're on Amazon?
I'm
You've
on
self-published?
Yes. I have a website, robynbusfield.com.
Okay.
And my books are also on Amazon. So
Great.
Yeah.
I'll put a link on these videos as well so people can find you.
And you're on Kindle too.
Great. Isn't that so nice now with social media
So
and the
helpful.
internet? And yeah, we can be self-sufficient too. And I think that's empowering for women to know that if anyone has a book inside them, don't be afraid to start writing or music.
Yes.
Because we can now put it on iTunes, Amazon.
Everything you've created and all these dreams that you've taken is incredible. When we could just listen to that heart and follow it, then the sky's the limit, really. There's no limit.
And it's amazing when you are living from your true purpose and you are in touch with your divine plan.
Yes.
The people that you actually cross paths with. I mean, this trip in particular has just been so special. I'm never going to forget it.
Yeah.
Just literally crossing paths with these incredible women who are doing amazing work and serving humanity, not just women and girls, but humanity in general, and following their intuition and living in their divine on this planet. And that's what we're all here to do.
I feel that too.
Yeah. And not being afraid to use our voices. So Robyn, a lot of people refer to everything that we're talking about today as New Age or spiritual or even religious, I guess, when people hear Buddhism or divine. How would you find, if people are trying to understand their own intuition, or how do they hear their own inner voice, or they want to buy crystals, how do they start their journey?
I feel like that what you had mentioned earlier about meditating, but that was an initial point for me, and I feel like that if we're having difficulty hearing the inner voice, then just spending that time with self. And sometimes meditation to people, I found, can be confusing in itself, because people are like, well, hang on, this meditation has a certain way that I should do it. It's like, yeah, and in a book that I'd read, Jesus had said, burn the word should. Actually, you write it on a bit of paper and burn it.
Not a fan.
Yeah. When people can realize that there's no shoulds to meditation, there's no right way to do it or wrong way to do it. Meditation truly, this is what I've learned over the years, is it's really time with self. Just time with self. And it could even, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was going to say, it could even be taking a nice hot bath at the end of the night with a glass of hot tea, or
walking through the park. And that's something I used to like doing was, I'd go for a walk, and then when you're walking, you find that just that daydreaming state can take you into kind of a meditative state. Doing the dishes.
I do it when I do my makeup in the morning. I find that that's my time where I can get ideas for my show, or insights into my own life, or just
those moments in yourself, even doing the dishes, doing the vacuuming, like, who would have known that's meditative.
Yeah.
When we can just be in that moment and allow ourselves just to go into that place of even daydreaming and drop us into that place where we're really beginning to be a channel. Meditation has really been a channel. Feeling those messages, hearing those messages. It doesn't have to be words either. You don't have to hear anything audible. It could be just a feeling or a knowing that arises from within. It's just trusting that it is that part of us that is divinely connected to the all, that has continual, eternal information at our fingertips.
It's so beautiful. And so you have one more project on the go at the moment. It's another book, I believe.
Yeah, I'm working on a book with a number of folks at the moment, and
here in Hawaii.
It's in Hawaii.
Yeah.
It is here in Hawaii, and it kind of came to fruition. It's interesting because a couple of years ago, I was kind of sitting there daydreaming and just pondering, and I was saying to myself, it'd be really fun to have a bunch of people together and write a book on our awakening and show all the different types of awakenings that are occurring with, a handful of people.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, in the last year or so, it's coming together now, and these people have, we've come to the point where we are writing and we're in editing stage. So
it's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to let me know when that comes out, and I'll put it on my website so people can find it.
Okay.
Oh, Robyn, I could talk to you for hours. I really could.
I can talk to you too.
Yeah, you're just so fascinating and so wise, and I love the work that you're doing, and I love that you're trusting your guidance. And I love that you're living your purpose. Oh, thank you so much, hon. Honestly, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.